How long have we been waiting for this? Feels like an eternity. But that's okay, for we have finally ridden the CRF 1000L, better known as the Africa Twin. The modern day rendition of Honda's most iconic rally motorcycle, the NXR 750V, which won the Dakar 4 times over in the 1980s. A bike which can take you around the world and back. And all I got was a few hours just to experience it. And this is how it transpired. I think you can almost call it love at first sight, because I think the Africa Twin is adventure motorcycling done right, especially for us new guys, because for its kind it looks unbelievably lean, more like a long distance runner, not half as intimidating as its heavyweight competitors. And this point is driven home further by its seat height, because at 820mm it's the lowest in class, while still offering you a ground clearance of 250mm, which is the highest as compared to its competitors. And that's because unlike the GS and Multistrada, this one has a 21-inch front and an 18-inch rear. And this is the only bike in this segment to offer dual clutch transmission. DCT. Now that was something I was really curious to try out. And the journey from the hotel to the shoot location, it gave me plenty of time to play around with the different settings. The drive mode allows you to cruise leisurely, while it shifts optimally for maximizing fuel economy. The sport mode has 3 different options, with the third setting holding the gears the longest. And you also have the manual mode, which allows you to shift using the paddle shifters. The manual mode was my first choice when we first rolled out from the hotel, and I liked it straight away because the shifts were instant and smooth. But to be honest, I also quite like the drive mode because it's the perfect mode when you have a pillion, because the gear shifts are seamless, there are no jerks, and it actually really allows you to sit back and enjoy and appreciate just how good the Africa Twin is on the road. For the ride quality is sublime. The vibes almost non-existent thanks to the biaxial counterbalancers, and the ride position is relaxed. And even though this makes the least amount of power as compared to the GS or the Multistrada, you have almost 70% of its torque available from just over 2000 RPM. This emphasis on making more torque than chasing outright power also means the Africa Twin runs a lower compression ratio. It means it also doesn't heat up as much. But because it doesn't have ride-by-wire, you also don't get cruise control. Also, the windshield, it does a decent job of fending off the wind from your face, but it's not adjustable. So taller riders will have a problem and will have to go for a longer aftermarket windshield. And even though I liked the bite and the progression of the brakes, they cause the front end to dive a fair bit when we are riding on the road under hard braking. But again, that's an easy fix because the forks are fully adjustable. And anyway, this setup proved to be perfect for what lay ahead. Off-road. I know that's where the Africa Twin really belongs, but unfortunately we got very short time to play with it in the dirt. And to be honest, I think we barely skimmed or touched the surface of its true potential. But from whatever I saw, I came back really impressed because for one, the Africa Twin feels so small between your legs. There's so much room for you to move around. And also I love the balance on the motorcycle, right? It's fantastic because the mass centralization, I think it carries off its weight really well. You do not feel it. And also with the 43-degree steering lock on both sides, it really makes your life so much simpler when the terrain gets tight and technical. Even in terms of ergonomics, I felt completely at home standing up on the motorcycle. I just wish that the pegs were a little bit longer. The next thing which blew me away was the precise fueling and the linear power delivery.
The 270-degree crank
delivers V-twin-like power, very tractable, making it extremely easy to control the bike in the dirt, and you can really open the engine up with the traction control watching your back. Now, this is a more simpler unit. There's no IMU involved, but it works brilliantly and it can be switched off as well. Having said that, it comes back on every single time you turn off the ignition. That can get very annoying. DCT, off-road conditions, never thought it would work, but Honda has proved me wrong because it works brilliantly. I mean, all I had to do was set the DCT in the Sport 3 mode and I was set. It worked flawlessly, and not having to shift, that opened up so much time and space in my mind that I could just focus all that energy then on looking at the obstacles in front of me and just focusing on my throttle inputs, you know, doing these stupid slides with the G control, the gravel control, watching my back. Plus, with the DCT, you never have to worry about stalling. How cool is that? The DCT system can also detect climbs and descents and accordingly holds the gear longer. I also quite liked the ABS system because when you go off-road you can actually switch it off, but that means it's still watching over your front while you can lock the rear, which I think is the perfect compromise, allowing you to stop like you want to in the dirt. I think that's a good way of summarizing the Africa Twin. What makes it such a fantastic motorcycle is just how user-friendly it is. Anyone can sit on it and go have fun, on-road and off-road. The bike is never riding you. You are riding the bike. It puts you in control and backs your every move. And because it instills so much confidence in you, now this will be one adventure bike that you will really end up taking off-road and have a ball of a time. So Honda has absolutely nailed it with the Africa Twin, and also with the pricing, because not only is it a whole lot cheaper than the GS and the Multistrada Enduro, but also cheaper than the Tiger XCX. So there you go guys, that's the first ride impression of the Africa Twin, and which obviously has me smiling from ear to ear, and I cannot wait to ride it longer and bring you a comprehensive review. And if you do not want to miss it, you know what to do. Like, share and of course subscribe.